Again, this is another sign of the times, an analysis, and a commentary. Vladimir Putin has become a madman. Revelation chapter 16, verse 16. And they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew Armageddon. President Biden's National Security Advisor has said that the United States had warned Russia that there would be catastrophic consequences for the country if Russia used nuclear weapons in its increasing desperation to hold on to territory in Ukraine, adding that in recent days the United States has spelled out how the world would react in private conversations with Russian officials. Officials say they still had not seen any movement in Russia's stockpile of 2,000 or so small tactical weapons which can be launched from a short or medium-range missile, despite President Vladimir V. Putin's threats that this is not a bluff, but Mr. Sullivan's use of the word catastrophic as a deliberately ambiguous warning of a major, if almost certainly non-nuclear response to a Russian nuclear detonation, illustrating how quickly the rhetoric has intensified as Russia has faltered on the battlefield in recent months. In late May, Mr. Biden wrote a guest essay in the New York Times in which he said that any use of nuclear weapons in this conflict on any scale would be completely unacceptable to us as well as the rest of the world and would entail severe consequences. Nuclear expert Hans Christensen said he's extraordinarily concerned Putin could use nukes in Ukraine. In an interview, Christensen said he is alarmed by Putin's increasingly threatening rhetoric. Christensen is director of the Nuclear Information Project at the Federation of American Scientists. For the first time in more than 6 months, Mr. Putin has revived his nuclear threats, saying he could use all arms available to him in the war, remarks interpreted by officials in both Russia and the West as a veiled threat about the use of nuclear weapons. Remarks considered by officials in both Russia and the West as a veiled threat about the use of nuclear weapons. If Russia feels its territorial integrity is threatened, we will use all defense methods at our disposal, and this is not a bluff, he said. Those who are trying to blackmail us with nuclear weapons should know that the winds can also turn in their direction. Mr. Sullivan said in several interviews that he was taking Mr. Putin's nuclear threats seriously, saying at one point that the United States was preparing for every contingency in the conflict and working to deter Russia from using nuclear weapons. Revelation chapter 16, verse 8. Then the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and power was given to him to scorch humans with fire. 9. And humans were scorched with great heat, and they blasphemed the name of God, who has power over these plagues, and they did not repent and give him glory. 10. Then the fifth angel poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and his kingdom or nation became full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues because of the pain. 11. They blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and did not repent of their deeds. 12. Then the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, so that the way of the kings or leaders from the east might be prepared. And all these are more signs. Also, it's still about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations? And that should be a very important question to ask.